We mummify. Sicily is full of mummies. People mummified themselves until the early 20th century in a lot of places. But anyway.
Did you ever have that same cultural fascination? So there's a weird group that I found online, and I was actually doing some research into it because psychologically...
Mummies?
Mummies. It involves mummies. Like, I was fascinated and terrified by skeletons and mummies and dead people. Not necessarily mummies like in The Mummy or in Egypt, but just flesh and dead people scared me so much in my early childhood, like nightmares, terror, that now I've become obsessed with them in a really affectionate and romantic way. Not necrophilia, but to the point that it verges on necrophilia, and I can understand.
I always liked horror stories and Goosebumps when I was little.
But does it come from a fear of it initially? Because there's a group of girls that I found through my fascination with the terror who are obsessed with Hartnell, who died, and John Torrington as well. John Hartnell and John Torrington, they were both died young and were frozen and mummified on King William Island. Beechey Island, on Beechey Island in the Arctic. And these girls either saw those specific mummies, because there was a huge thing where they were photographed and put on the front of a book cover, and called Frozen in Time by Owen Beatty. And there's even a poem called Envious of Owen Beatty, and it's about how jealous they were that when he dug these corpses up, he could have kissed them if he wanted to, because they look like sleeping beauties, because they're perfectly preserved. No, they're not perfectly preserved, they look horrifying, but it so scared them, or that they so already had a fear of skeletons and ghosts and stuff, they became sort of erotically fixated in an animus Jungian possessed way with these corpses. And so I was following these people on the internet secretly. I've now revealed myself, but I was studying their reactions, because that's also my reaction. Not that I came across Frozen in Time when I was a child, but I came across a lot of ghost stories and a lot of skeletons and mummies, and was horrified. I don't know. Did you ever have this?
I always loved horror. I loved horror stories. I loved being scared, and I was interested in it. Yes.
Did you have the nightmare phase of it before, though? Like the absolute horror that these things might exist and appear out of nowhere?
Yes, I thought that I had a barrier around my bed that I could conjure up. So I did that. Or sometimes I went sleeping on the floor in front of the room of my parents on the small carpet, because they wouldn't allow me in their bed because they were trad on this thing, not on other things. So they were, no, you must learn to sleep in your bed.
Yeah,
so
my parents were the same. I wanted to share a bed, but they wouldn't let me. I wasn't even allowed in their room. They locked me in my own bedroom.
Yeah, I was in the landing in between the two bedrooms on the floor, like on a carpet, like a dog.